Well, fight fans, the exciting career of Deontay Wilder appears to be at an end. The 23rd of December really was the day of reckoning for the 38-year-old. It appeared that his sharpness, timing, and most importantly his desire were no longer there, as he meekly fell on points to Joseph Parker. Still, there's no doubt that Wilder brought us lots of thrills and excitement in his career, but the question is, how good was Deontay Wilder? Wilder turned to boxing at the advanced age of 20, so everything he achieved was amazing really, a testament to his natural athleticism and that right-hand punching power of his. After just 2 years as an amateur, he was a national Golden Gloves champion and US national champion, which is an amazing achievement. However, the American amateur scene isn't what it used to be. Names like Issa Thomas, David Thompson, Qantas Graves, and James Zimmerman don't exactly strike fear into the hearts of fighters everywhere. On the international stage, his best win was a points win over the big-hitting and scary-looking Olympic champion Rakhim Shakimov. Crazy that one went the distance. As a pro, Shakimov would come within whiskers of winning the WBA Cruiserweight Championship, and British fight fans will remember him for being knocked out by Ola Afolobi. Wilder's worst loss saw him stopped by Russian world youth champion Evgeny Romanov, a guy who is currently an unbeaten pro terrorising the ranks of the Bridgerweight division. If you don't know what that is, don't worry, you'll never need to. The highlight of his amateur career came in 2008 when he picked up a bronze medal in the 2008 Olympics, losing in the semi-finals to Italian champion Clement Russo. Russo was vastly more experienced and a real stalwart of the international boxing scene. And in the previous round, Russo had outscored one Alexander Usyk. And in the final, Russo would lose to Shakiev, the same Shakiev that Wilder outscored. So Wilder finished his amateur career with a record of 30 wins against 5 defeats and a new nickname, the Bronze Bomber. The Gold Bomber would have been better, eh? Still, Deontay was a legitimate world-class amateur. Wilder then turned pro under Shelley Finkel, and the going was very slow. 3 years later, he'd won 25 fights, all by knockout, all against absolute bum. The best fighters he fought were Kirsten Manswell and Owen Beck, fighters whose primes and ambitions were long gone. It took a man a step up in class when he stopped Kelvin Price in 3 rounds, before in fight number 28 he did British boxing a favour by blowing away Audley Harrison in a single round. He was swinging like a windmill, but it was exciting stuff. Former WBO boss Sergei Lakovic was next, and he was stopped inside a round, as was future trainer Malik Scott, who took a swan dive at the first sign of trouble, and Wilder failed to look like a threat in fights with journeyman Nikolai Firther and Jason Garvin. He looked like he had a lot to learn. This awe-inspiring run, however, somehow netted him a fight with WBC champion Bermane Stiverne. Now, Stiverne wasn't any great shakes, but he hit hard and he was fairly solid. And I thought Wilder looked good in this fight. Faced with an opponent he couldn't knock out, he used a solid jab, set a solid pace, showed good movement, and he landed 227 of his 621 punches, 37% accuracy. It was a good performance. In his first 2 defences, Wilder pummeled Eric Molina and Johan de Pass. Both were maybe top 30 heavyweights if I'm being generous. Then, in what I considered to be an amazing turn of events, Wilder was set to defend his title against Alexander Povetkin in bloody Russia, only for the fight to get cancelled a week before because Povetkin, as is the Russian way, failed a drug test. You gotta give Deontay massive credit for this. Willing to fight Povetkin in Russia, that takes massive bollocks. So it was back to subpar competition. Past it, Chris Arreola and Arthur Spilka were next. The Spilka fight was the first in which Wilder abandoned work rate in favour of landing a bomb. He would repeat this strategy against Gerald Washington and in the 2 biggest wins of his career against legitimate top 10 contender Luis Ortiz. Both times, Wilder was being soundly outscored before turning the fight around with his big right-hand bomb. Wilder would look absolutely destructive in scoring 1-round blowout to Stiverne in a rematch and Dominic Breazeale. Wilder took his let's land the bomb strategy into his fight with Tyson Fury, the legitimate linear champion, who even after his long layout would have been favoured to beat anyone in the division at the time apart from Anthony Joshua. Wilder was outboxed and outworked for the majority of the fight, but 2 knockdowns got him a draw. The second knockdown would have knocked out 99.9% of all human beings on the planet. In the rematch, a sharper Fury turned aggressive. Deontay was game and as delusional as ever and needed rescuing in 7 rounds. The third fight was one of the best in heavyweight history, and it was a war of attrition, as Wilder showed amazing heart and toughness, but the much bigger Fury got off the deck on 2 occasions to stop an absolutely spent Wilder in 11 rounds. After a year off, Wilder was back. One right hand saw him flatten top 15 ranked Robert Helenius in 1 round. Then came the loss to Parker. As previously mentioned, considering how old Wilder was when he took up boxing, he did amazingly well to tangle with and nearly beat the best heavyweight of the era in Tyson Fury. A lot of people are saying, with some justification, that Parker was the second best fighter Wilder ever fought. Personally, I disagree. I think the Luis Ortiz of 2018 and 19 would have outscored Parker. In the ring, Wilder was a lot better prior to falling in love with his right hand punching power. He moved well, he jabbed well, he threw a lot of shots with good accuracy, but then he replaced this with a strategy of waiting for an opening for his right hand and abandoning all his work rate. So how good was Deontay Wilder? Power-wise, he was certainly a 9 out of 10. Skill-wise, a 6 out of 10. On a historical scale, he would start favourite over anyone without a cast iron chin, Ken Norton's for example, but would likely get outscored by anyone with a solid chin and good skills, Jimmy Young for example, but he would be dangerous against absolutely everyone he fought. But he would also likely cop a beating if he fought any elite heavyweight. How do you rate Wilder fight fans? And don't forget to like and subscribe.